back to another episode of Student of the Game. You know what we like to do here, where we master the fundamentals, we fall in love with practice, so that we can help you win at the game of life. I'm Brad Noll, and today we're talking about one of the biggest gaps that I see in business and in life. I talk to my kids about this. But one of the biggest gaps I see as a small business owner is the gap between knowing and doing. You know, think about this. Are you somebody who wants to know everything before you get started? Are you a perfectionist? Do you want to figure things out before you go? There's a gap between knowing and doing. There's a gap between thinking and action. There's a gap between planning and executing. Now, you've heard me say this before. Preparation creates separation. I believe you have to prepare, but nothing happens. Think about this. You've never done anything in your life if you haven't taken action on it. And I think that's where a lot of times people drift. People drift because they're not taking action. This episode is going to all be about action. I have 3 points for you today. We live in a world where information is everywhere. You can listen to hundreds of podcasts, you can consume information, you can read a good book, you can attend a conference, but really none of it matters if you don't take action. You know, I love being an active learner. I love being a student of the game. We talk about that all the time, but you've got to get in the game. You've got to take action. This episode's going to be about action. I remember, as I started off my real estate career, I'd go to real estate conferences, and I got an uncle who told me, he's like, yeah, Brad, I've been to a lot of conferences in my day. He goes, but is there one thing you've implemented since you've been to the last conference? You know, you think about that. What's the last book you read or the last podcast you listened to? Do you like to consume the information? Are you doing anything with the information? Are there people you follow on social media and you love consuming their content? What do you do with that content? Do you take action? I think this is a question that all of us really maybe struggle with in some way, shape, or form. You know, what action do we take with the information that we consume? Today, I want to share 3 powerful ideas that I've just pulled from some of the top voices that I follow, some of the people that I study, and then some things that I've been working on myself. And the goal is to get inside your own life, your own business. What are you going through right now? What information can you consume? And then when can you take action? Can you take action immediately? You're going to hear me say that over and over again today, take action. My buddy Keon Henderson has a podcast called Take Action, so shout out to Key. So there's 3 points. First point, activity wins. Activity wins. Second point, clarity creates energy. And third point, this might be a shocker to some of you, relationships win. Those are the 3 points that I have for you today. This is going to be a short episode. We want to take action. Here's an idea for you. The businesses that win, the people that win, are the ones that execute quickly. Perfect is the enemy of progress. Are you a perfectionist? Do you like to wait? Do you like to get everything just right? Do you like to set the table before everybody eats? I would say in my life, I usually tend to lean towards fire ready aim. I believe top business owners, entrepreneurs, they often repeat this theme: launch fast, iterate, and don't wait until everything feels ready. You know, I think that's the thing. You have to understand that you don't have to feel ready. You don't have to be ready. Taking action creates feedback. There's feedback loops that happen when you take action. And if you allow a little space for growth, then you just understand it's another iteration. I was talking to one of our interns today, and I just asked her, I said, how many times does your phone go through a new update? A lot. My phone probably once a month goes through a new update. I wake up in the morning, all of a sudden it says, hey, congratulations, iOS just went through a new update. And you've probably seen that on your phone. That's a new iteration. They don't wait to sell you the phone until they get it all right. They release it and then they make changes as they go. And I hope you adopt that. I hope I can convince you that activity wins today. For us, that looks like a couple things. We have some big goals right now, and we're rolling out some really big news here in this next month. If you're listening to this, we're recording this in August of 2025. And in the next 30 days, we're rolling out some really big news. And there's some things that we're working on. And we have to ask ourselves, are we ready for it? I don't know. But there's going to be, I can tell you one thing, it's going to roll out before we complete it, because 80% is the best percentage there is. I've talked to my team and my kids about this, is I think 80% is where your goals need to be. If you hit 100% of your goals, you got to ask yourself, are the goals too low? And if you hit 20 or 50% of your goals, are those goals too high? I believe that 80% threshold, if you're setting a goal and you get 80% of the way there, or you hit 80% of your goals, that's a great spot to be in, because it's a challenging goal. It's made you better. You didn't get all the way there, but you got a lot of the way there. And you're better today than you were yesterday. So activity wins. We're not waiting until every system's polished. We're launching some really cool things that may end up being the flagship of our business along the way. And there's some of the same principles that can be applied, whether you're starting a new service, starting an email list, starting a new podcast. I've got a buddy of mine, his son wanted to start a new podcast. It's awesome. Good for him. Shout out to Jack. Jack started a new podcast. This is a sports show with him and his dad. And, there's some things that he can do better and some things he can learn from, but he's doing it. He's doing it. He's just starting a podcast. So kudos to Jack. Great job, man. Keep up the good work. And we want to support you in your show. But activity wins. Taking activity and not being perfect wins. I'm just going to ask you, is there something that you have right now that's kind of inside of you that you haven't started yet? This is my encouragement to you. Is it writing that book? Is it starting that podcast? Is it starting a business? Maybe it's calling a family member? Maybe it's calling a friend. Do you have a relationship that's not perfect, that's maybe broken or strained? Reach out to them. Activity wins. Get over yourself. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have the right things to say. Sometimes just listening is the most important thing. Sometimes listening is the activity and the action that's needed when it comes to building relationships, growing a business. And for me, that's something that I believe is why we are where we are today, is because fire, ready, aim. We're going to take action, and then we're going to understand, we're going to iterate. Iteration, what is iteration to me? It's feedback. When we put a home on the market, one of the best things we can get is feedback. One thing I cannot do is I can't put a home on the market and guess. I hope this home sells. I need feedback. I need buyers to say either it's overpriced or it's priced just right or it needs new paint or they love the backyard. That gives us feedback on how we advise our real estate clients. We have monthly team meetings. We have monthly individual meetings, and we give our agents feedback. I don't think a person can grow without feedback, but that feedback is the iteration. You can't get feedback if you don't start something. So here's my encouragement to you. Start something. Activity wins. If you hear anything today, activity wins. Go take some action. Get off your seat. All right, go do something. Go be of value. Go be of service to other people. Anytime I'm down, I find the best thing I can do for myself is take action. Go do something for other people. Help other people win. You've heard me say that before. Help other people win. Second bullet point, clarity creates energy. Clarity creates energy. Think about this. Action flows from clarity. When you're clear on something, you take action. Action flows from clarity. If you don't know exactly what you're building towards, you'll spin your wheels. One of my favorite sayings is thinking, decisions, and results. Everything starts at the thinking level. Everything starts at the thinking level. If you want a different outcome, if you want to be in control of your life, if you want to have more, be more, do more, it all starts at the thinking level. No one can help you until they know what you're thinking about. Nobody can help you until your goal is clear. Clarity provides action. Clarity creates energy. Thinking, decisions, results is the framework to getting anything you want in life. Let's reverse engineer that. What result do you want? Okay, now that you know the result, think about that right now. If you're driving or walking your dog or wherever you're consuming this podcast, think about that. What outcomes do you want? It could be with relationships. It could be with your job, your business. What outcomes do you want? What results do you want? Now, what decisions do you need to make? What decisions do you need to make to get those outcomes, those results? And when you get to the decision level, what are you thinking about? How are you thinking? Are you introducing new information? Are you introducing a new podcast or a book that helps you think differently from a better spot? Yeah, I wish I knew this earlier in life, but thinking like a ninja when it comes to my goals and my outcomes and the decisions that I need to make, everything happens at the thinking level. Thinking, then decisions, then results. And the way you reverse engineer your life is you figure out the results you want, the decisions you need to make, and what you need to think about in order to make those decisions. And I believe that's what creates the energy to take action. I think high-performing business owners, they set clear goals, they define measurables, and they break them down into simple steps. You've heard me talk before, and you've heard every coach say you got to stack days. You got to stack days. You got to stack days. I want to win a national championship. Well, I can't be thinking about the national championship every day. I got to think about, what do I need to do today? Think about your goals you have right now. You can't accomplish your goal today, most likely. If it's a big enough goal, it should be a big enough goal where you don't know how to accomplish it and you can't get it done in one day. If you can get a goal, listen to this. If you can get a goal done in one day, that's called a to-do, not a goal. You feel me? A goal should not be able to be done in one day. But I'll tell you what, successful people know how to break those goals down into daily activities. What is it going to take for you to win today? And that clarity is going to create energy, and that energy is repeatable. The energy is addicting. Let's be honest. When you're productive in a day, it's addicting. That's a great addiction. Let's go figure out how to get that dopamine and go get more done. Go be productive. Go do something for other people. But clarity creates energy, and clarity is at the thinking level. This is why we like to talk about a 12-week year. You've heard us talk about a 12-week year before, or, you can break your year into quarters or 90 days at a time. There's some science behind that. I won't get into it, but we like breaking it down where there's measurables. One of my coaches one time told me, let's talk about the framework of a goal. He says, what's your goal? Let's make up a goal, run a marathon, right? So my goal is to run a marathon. No, that's an outcome. If you truly set a goal and you know the measurables, you can reverse engineer it back to, well, when are you going to run a marathon? Are you going to do it tomorrow? Probably not. I'd kill myself if I do a marathon tomorrow. So then you have to train for it. So, okay, when am I doing the marathon? Okay, in 6 months, I'm going to do a marathon. Great. Okay, where am I going to do it? Am I going to do it in my backyard? Am I going to do it on the highway? Am I going to do it in Louisville, Kentucky, Chicago, Illinois? Like, where am I going to do the marathon? Okay, what am I going to wear, right? So my coach pretty much broke it down to say, okay, if you're going to have a goal, we got to create some clarity. I'm going to run a marathon, and it's going to be under 4 hours, and it's going to be with my yellow Nike shoes on, and this is going to be my training, and this is going to be my nutrition, and I'm going to break that into daily decisions. So how you think about that goal, the decisions you make will then give you the results, but providing clarity on every step along the way creates the energy. I'll just tell you, I've got a big goal. I'm going to announce this right now. I've always had a goal to do a real estate podcast with my team. And so we're going to start that here soon. You'll be able to find it on YouTube, and eventually here you'll be able to find it on wherever you download your podcast. But this is a small business podcast, and I've always wanted to have a real estate podcast with my team because we have a lot to share. We have a lot of information. We do a lot of transactions. We help a lot of people. We serve a lot of people in the Fort Wayne, Indiana and surrounding areas when it comes to helping them buy and sell homes. When somebody's going through a lifestyle change, that's what we're experts in, is helping them go through a lifestyle change. And I want to share how we're doing that. But this is a small business podcast. Student of the Game is about how to grow your business, how to set big goals, how to create fundamentals in your business so you know what winning looks like for you. And so a podcast is a great example. I didn't know how to do it, so I hired a coach, and now I'm doing a podcast. And now you're listening and you're consuming something that I didn't know how to do, and we just started to do it. So when you get that clarity on what it is you want, everything changes. It creates energy. And you bottle that energy up and you use it to go hit some goals. Point number 3. Okay, so if you're paying attention, point number one is activity wins. Point number 2 is clarity creates energy. And point number 3, relationships win. You see, we believe that businesses exist to solve a problem, but people can only take action with people they trust. So we got to build trust. Well, how do we build trust? We got to take action. It's a cycle. You see how that works? I was sharing with my daughter today, who's in college now, who's going to have some successes and going to have some struggles, and life beats you down, and you got to figure out how to get back up. And I told her, I said, relationships win. Like in the game of life, relationships win. And if I can share something from, I believe it's Pablo Picasso, it says the meaning of life is to find your gift. Let me say it again. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give that gift away. The meaning of life is to find your gift. We work really hard to figure out what it is we're good at. And the purpose of the life is to go serve other people with your giftedness. Now, let me turn that on its head a little bit. If relationships win, then the goal is to go give yourself away. Go give your gift away to other people. But when you're in need, know who those people are in your life that can help you win, right? Give a bunch of stuff away. But no, if you need something, there's people in your life that can help you win. There's people in your life that can help you win. Some of the best leaders emphasize that introductions and referrals and word of mouth comes from strong relationships, not pushy sales tactics. We talk about our relationships win framework. We want to connect. We want to have conversations. We want to introduce people to somebody that can help them along their way. That's just being a good human. Sales are a byproduct of building great relationships, being a great human, listening more than you're talking. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. I see it all the time in social media. You're not going to change somebody's political views. You're not going to change somebody's religious views. You're not going to change somebody's philosophical views for the most part. So spend time listening. Spend time getting to know people. Be a great human. That's why we created the relationships win framework, is because we believe in the game of life, relationships win. Whoever has the best relationship wins. There's business I've lost and I just didn't have the best relationship as maybe one of my competitors, and that's okay. So in the game that I'm playing in real estate, I want to have the best relationship I can with my clients. That's building trust, character, and competence. It's not just about closing deals. That's the outcome, right? Thinking, decisions, results. Thinking, how do I think about this situation? How do I think about this goal? What decision do I need to make? Do I need to join a club? Do I need to join, a networking group, a fantasy football team? Like, I need to go build relationships. What decisions do I need to make? My thinking is, I need to build relationships because my thinking tells me that relationships win. And if relationships win and I'm trying to build trust inside a group of people, the decision I need to make is I need to go join something. I need to go do something for somebody else. Go join a church. Our church has go days where you can volunteer. Like, go build relationships doing something that adds value to other people's lives. And then the results happen. They take care of themselves with your thinking and your decisions. And our small business mixer that we do, our home buyer events, and how we surprise our clients after closing is part of how we're building relationships. I gotta tell you a quick story about our business mixer we had this year. Worst ice storm I've ever seen in the 20 some years I've lived in this area. And we had the most amount of RSVPs we've ever had. Okay. We get this ice storm, comes in around midnight. So there's no preparation for it. We know we're going to get hit. We know there's going to be a storm. We have no idea about school cancellations or delays. So we have the most amount of RSVPs we've ever had. Then what ends up happening is we have this ice storm in the middle of the night. All the schools are closed. Well, a 2-hour delay, then they're closed, right? And there's a lot of people that are caretaking for their kids. They can't leave them at home. I mean, you know the drill. We're all in that. Most of us are in that scenario. And guess what? My phone started blowing up. Hey, can't make it. Hey, can't make it. Roads are bad. Kids are home. Kids are sick. I'm sick. All in all. You want to know something? After all of the cancellations that we had, we still had more people at that event than we've ever had at our business mixer at the beginning of the year. And in our business mixer, we ask people, who are you looking to meet? How can we help you? Who are you looking to meet for your business? If you weren't there, we would love to have you at our next one. Reach out to me, send me a DM, and we'd love to get your business invited there. You can meet some people. It's just a group of people that are servant leaders who want to help other people win. And I'll tell you this, we ended up having the most people we've ever had at our business mixer. Why? Because I truly believe people are hungry and they're starving for authentic, genuine relationships. And when we believe relationships win, and we're the leader in this, we're the leader in believing relationships win, we want to help you win. And so as you're thinking about your goals today, as you're thinking about some big things that maybe you haven't got started yet, you got to take action. You got to take action. Activity wins. You have to create clarity. You have to think. Preparation creates separation. You have to prepare. You have to take action, but you have to prepare. And that clarity does create some energy. And then as you're moving through and you're taking action, don't ever forget relationships win. Here's my challenge to you this week. Don't just listen to another podcast. Don't just pick up another book. Pick one of the ideas that was in that book. Pick one of the ideas that you heard on a podcast. Take action. Prepare and think. Create some clarity that provides energy around that one point. And then we believe relationships drive results. Who in your life? Don't ask how. If you're asking how, it's the wrong question. Who can help you get to where you want to go? And the reverse is true. Who are you going to help get to where they want to go? One of my daughters plays AAU basketball. One of the best lines from her coach at the beginning of the season was, "Let me tell you how you're going to be successful as a parent, as a player. It's when you're just as excited about the other girl's goals as you are your own." If you can, let me give you the hack to building a great team and a great culture. If you can get excited about somebody else's goals at the level in which you get excited yourself, that's going to be a winning team. I can guarantee it. What's one thing you've been waiting on that you could start today? What's one goal that you could clarify or measure? Who's one person you need to connect with or meet with? Maybe who's one phone call? Who's one? Just get started. At the end of the day, being a student of the game is not about just consuming content. It's about stepping into the field, playing, being active, being the man in the arena, the man or the woman in the arena. That's where life is lived. Thanks for joining me on this episode. I appreciate it. If this helps you, share it with another small business owner or somebody who needs to take action. And like we say, in the game of life, relationships win. I appreciate you listening today. Go take some action, and I'll see you on the next one.